let's get started. First things first, pancan.org. That is the website. We'll be promoting that. Also, PurpleStride. Very important.
It's purplestride.org/Team Trek is
Thank
the
you.
website.
That's
Just
yeah, I
so
forgot to do that. Thank you.
And
He
this, ladies
said,
and
That's
gentlemen, is
awesome.
why we love him.
I have one purpose here.
All right. This is the way I do it. I do pancan.org, and then I just go right over here and click on Purple Stride. That makes it so much
Hmm.
easier for me because I like
Mhm.
simplicity. And then I scroll down and I go to Team Trek. This is the big one. And
too
these
many
beautiful
Yeah.
steps, Ron.
faces.
Too many steps. Listen to what JC
Yay.
has to say. Pancan.org
Just type in
Trek.
purplestride.org
Backslash.
backslash Team Trek.
I think, Ryan, you've got your finger on the pulse of the
Everybody
matter.
knows
I
him.
like to go.
Thank
Ah,
That's
you.
how I do it too.
Mhm.
So I would love to start off
And I
with
do it.
Kitty and Armin telling us where'd this all come from. I feel like you have this beautiful origin story that we all need to know about. And could you share it with us, please?
Kitty, take it away. It's your story.
Um, so how far back do you want me to go? How we started Team Trek? Here we
Middle
go.
school.
Well, I
Middle
think he
school.
wants you to go back 21 years, Kitty. I
Yeah.
think he
Okay,
wants you to
20,
go back
21
20.
years ago, I was a little over 21 years ago, I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I had a Whipple surgery. I count the day of my
What's a
Whipple.
Whipple, Kitty? What's a
A
Whipple?
Whipple. I was going there. I really was.
oh my God,
Whipple, they
you
took
two.
out half my
I'm
stomach,
just so
half my
used to
pancreas,
directing
my
her. That's all. I'm just used to directing.
my gallbladder, a couple of feet of my intestines, and 28 lymph nodes. And 17 days later, I came out of the hospital, and here I am, still alive. Which at that time I had a 3 to 4% chance of surviving 5 years, and here I am, 21 years later. And so, I am devoted to the idea of making sure that there are other people who are survivors like I am, as are all the people on Team Trek. It's really quite wonderful. And how I came to PanCAN in the first place is Charlotte Rae, who was people probably know her from all of her television series, but I think of her as a great Broadway diva, great musical comedy diva. But she was my grandmother, sort of. She wasn't really my grandmother, but she was my grandmother emotionally. And she had pancreatic cancer, and I helped get her through it. And then we started going to PanCAN events together. And when she passed away, and I was speaking at her funeral, Pam Marquardt came up to me and talked to me. Pam is the founder of PanCAN. And then during the pandemic, she reached out to me and said, "Will you become a spokesperson for us, an ambassador?" And I said, "I have a better idea. I think we have the power of Star Trek. We have Armin." And at that time, I knew Jonathan would be somebody I would go to because he had lost his brother. And we went and we spoke to Jonathan, and he immediately said yes. And from there, Armin.
And from there, we took on all these other wonderful people who also have connections to PanCAN. Each of them will tell you exactly what their connection is. Um, uh, it is my life's goal to save as many people as possible. I was lucky enough to have a wife who survived. The survival rate was, as Kitty told you, 3 to 4% at the time. It's now up to 13%. So that's quadruple the survivability rate, but it's not good enough. 13% is not good enough. We want more people to survive. We don't want the stories that these guys are about to tell you about their relatives.
Mhm.
I'll take it. My wonderful brother Daniel Frakes, who was actually the cute one of the family, died of pancreatic cancer when he was 41. He turned yellow. We took him to a hospital in Philadelphia. They performed the Whipple, which is the traditional surgery that they go in and take a look. And they looked and they said, "Sorry, it's much too far along, and there's nothing we can do." They closed him up and they said he may live for the next 6 months. So he died 5 months later, and it was it affected our family in a way that was never. My father never really recovered. My mom and
Mhm.
I mourned, and my mom lived to be 94, and we still talked about Daniel ad nauseum probably. At the going away party for Marina Sirtis, my TV wife, Kitty came to me and asked me if I'd join this group, and I had I had been involved with charities, and I've always been, I pride myself in being helpful. But this was so personal and it's been so great. And now we have expanded to this team, as you see. So for the last 5 years, I look forward to this time of year because not only am I competitive, and we all try to raise a lot of money, once we got JC, he joined us last year and he was the biggest fundraiser in the history of our team. Not to take anything away from our next guest, Mr. John Billingsley, who, among other things, has more books than anyone else on our team.
Oh.
I didn't know how far
any of them. He hasn't read any of them.
There's
one of them
is really good, and I just keep reading it over and over. Stuart Little, if any of you have ever read Stuart
I love that.
the Marvel,
Captivating.
I've
only seen the movie.
Yes, my mother passed away from pancreatic cancer in 1990 at the age of 70, and similarly from diagnosis to death 3 months. She didn't even have a Whipple by the time they figured out what it was through a series of protracted tests because there was no urgency. It was, maybe come back in 2 weeks, we'll look at this. By the time they found it, there was no question that she had a limited amount of time. And one of the things that I've seen change, and one of the reasons I so appreciate this organization, is because they have so raised awareness of what this disease is about and what the symptoms are that people like my mother, who had no cognizance that it could be something as serious as pancreatic cancer, she had back pains, she had stomach aches, might now think, I'd better, and the doctors might now think, we'd better. That's a sea change. And I want to throw one thing out before handing it to Juan Carlos. I love all these people. I couldn't be happier that Kitty and Armin asked me to be part of this. The reason that the survival rate at 13% may not seem as robust, but is still amazing, is because more people are dying of pancreatic cancer, because more people are being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, because more people are actually thinking, gee, I wonder if I got pancreatic cancer. And the doctors are now diagnosing it correctly in ways that they were not some years back. So that statistic is actually really quite impressive when you consider it is a fast growing cancer because more people are going, oh shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For Manny, it was in 2022 in May. He was super thirsty, couldn't quench his thirst. And his wife told him, that's a symptom of diabetes. You should check that out. And he started to look at it. It turned out that he had sudden onset diabetes. He got jaundice. He turned yellow. The physician he went to had the presence of mind, very much because of what John is talking about, to take a further look, and they realized that he had a tumor in the duct of his pancreas that was blocking the insulin, which is what was giving him diabetes. So, pancreatic cancer will often show up not only as a pain in your back or indigestion, but it also can be a sudden onset diabetes. So he was diagnosed in June of 2022 and passed away in July of 2023. He did 2 rounds of chemo and a round of radiation. It was sort of all set for a Whipple, but much like Daniel, it had spread too far, so they didn't go through the surgery, and in July he passed. But as many of you know, he ran Star Trek Enterprise in its final season and was a lifelong Trek fan and really was my inspiration on a lot of levels. He was my older brother, and I started out as a PA on his Super 8 movies. He
Wow.
stole Dad's Super 8 camera on vacations and started making films, and we were all inspired by Spielberg and everything else. And so I started making Super 8s and followed him out to Hollywood. And so, I kind of owed him everything. And when he passed, I found out about the Star Trek family through PanCAN and reached out, and they reached out to me. And, I was obviously happy to join the team because of the work they had already done and the work they've been doing. And I just think that the trek of it all is part of what inspires me and obviously inspired Manny. It was literally the first television show he ever fell in love with, and it was a lifelong dream to work on it when he finally did.
Really?
So that spirit of hope for mankind and hope for the future and belief in science is something that Manny lived by and that PanCAN lives by.
And
Wow.
Ryan, with your permission, let me add a little to what these incredible stories. One of the things, the reason why we're asking people to donate, besides being competitive, as Jonathan says, um, it's the fact that the federal government has now gotten rid of funding for the one um, uh, organization that does research into pancreatic cancer. So we
Hmm.
can't rely on federal funding anymore. We have to reach out to the public and say, please help us. Please step in where the government has now stepped out. We need this research. We need these stories that you just heard to stop.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't happen anymore. We need to, what they don't have yet is a cure. The Whipple can save your life, but it would be so nice if we could inject you with something and stop this. More importantly than a cure, perhaps as important, perhaps not more important, is there is no marker that tells
Hmm.
us immediately this is pancreatic cancer. We need to discover that marker. It's the same thing for other diseases. You take a test, you find out, oh my God, I've got the measles, I've got tuberculosis, I've got whatever. We don't have that yet, and only research and science and donations from people who are willing to support our cause will make that happen. So please make it so.
And tomorrow
Yeah, I
morning,
mean, look, and there's the whole other level is PanCAN itself, right? Sorry, Katie, if you want to go ahead.
oh no, that's tomorrow morning, starting at 9 o'clock. There's a matching. There's a $100,000 match. If you donate up to $250, that person will double it until that $100,000 is gone. So if you want to join our team and double your $5, your $10, or your $250, you better believe Armin and I are both going to give more $250 more in the morning.
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
keep
Wow.
doing that every
I
time
mean,
there's a
and I kind of wanted to also talk about the Action in Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, right? It's not just about research and a cure, and markers obviously hugely important, but they have, caseworkers so that if you or a family member is diagnosed, you call them right away and they will help you find a doctor to give you a second opinion. They'll educate your doctor more on what they need to know. They'll provide somebody to be with you every step of the way in the process, which
Wow.
is, I can tell you, is invaluable.
Hmm.
So it is really about action and the action that they take that
It's
we're funding.
especially, I think it's especially important if you've been given a diagnosis that is not at all hopeful. If you've been told, as many
Mhm.
are,
Yeah.
that's it,
As Kitty
you're
was
done,
told.
as Kitty was. And as
Yeah.
Armin always says, the second opinion that PanCAN will provide you with an oncologist. I mean, there are wonderful oncologists out there, but there'll be oncologists that are actually able to diagnose, trained in the detection of pancreatic cancer, and they have a list of that. They'll also provide a case manager for you to help you through this entire process. And the people who are family members and loved ones who have been affected by this, there are people like Kitty and others who will comfort you and provide information. And it's an incredible organization at a lot of
Mhm.
levels.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. And I just want to point out, everybody at home, check this out. Um, have you seen this page before? If you have, it means you've donated. Please do it again. If you haven't, do it right now, as I just did. But now I'm
Well,
being
do it
told I,
tomorrow. Do it
that's right.
tomorrow
So
when the
now,
At
public.
9 a.m.
so
Put it
now
on
that
your
you
put
said
it on your
that,
calendar.
Listen
just
to
did
the
this like 10
Ferengi.
minutes
Do
ago.
it
Now that you
tomorrow. We'll get twice as much money that way.
Yes.
Now that you said that, tomorrow I'm going to donate as well, which will actually triple then how much
Yeah.
as today,
Ryan,
tomorrow, and the
thank
double.
you.
That's
So
Ferengi
unless
I,
math.
unless the nature of your specific character flaw is that if you don't do it now, you're not going to fucking do it at all. In which case, just do it now. I can't. I
at
can't.
least I'll make sure about
I
that
can't speak
everybody,
to the
including
character
myself at
flaws of
home.
all your listeners. So,
So everybody at home, we've put the link in the description box below as well as in the comments. Click on it, make a donation right now because that email that they send you as a confirmation will be your reminder to donate tomorrow. And that will then triple the amount. And these guys are going to blow everybody out of the water with their numbers.
PurpleStride.org/Team
Team
Trek.
Trek.
can we
Nailed
also
it.
can we
Nailed
talk
it.
about Purple Stride?
Woo!
Purple Stride
Riker
itself.
maneuver.
The
Nice.
day, the day, and what the day signifies, and how
Jackie
you.
Robinson Day.
Yes, it is
Right,
Jackie
Wow, very
Robinson Day.
nice.
right.
Anybody who's taken the
Awesome.
doctor, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, it doesn't start for a little while. Purple Stride itself, the day, which is April 26th. Yes.
April 26th.
60
Saturday.
cities,
One
60
thing
communities around the country.
Thank you. Yes. And you can join our group if you happen to be in Los Angeles. I'm not sure if everybody in our group is going to be in our group, but I'll be there. Kitty will be there, I
Yeah.
think. Juan Carlos, you'll be there,
Yep.
right?
I will
Jonathan,
be there.
you're going to be in
McAllen, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Sounds nice.
I don't know.
For my sins.
Yeah.
Armin's going to be in Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville,
Cool.
Alabama, at a book fair, signing books.
Awesome.
But join us in Los Angeles, or look and see if there are communities near you where you can walk and bring your friends to walk. And your friends can also, if you have like super ambition and you not only want to support our team, but you want to join our team as a fundraiser, you can do that. Can't you, Kitty?
Yes, they can.
Mhm.
They can. And even you can start a
A
subgroup
sub-commander.
in your hometown. You can have your own Star Trek group underneath us and have your own little team. Mark Sickle has a team going. There's teams going all over the country that are attached to us. It's fantastic.
That's
Right
very
when I
cool.
was just
Oh,
donating,
it's
it asked me,
fantastic.
it said, who do
fantastic.
you want to donate to specifically or just in general? And I was going to, but then I chickened out. I was afraid the other 4 members would find out and get mad at me. So I just picked the whole group. But you can
That's
actually, there's
okay,
like a
Ryan.
drop-down box with like 20 or 30 people. It's amazing.
Yep.
I recommend highly donate to Kitty.
Donate to Kitty.
Yes.
That's who I was going to do, but I got scared.
Or
Kitty is the embodiment of our hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
And an
John,
incredible
true.
human being.
It's also, you
Yes.
want to donate to Jonathan because it feeds his insatiable lust for victory. You can do that.
I'd almost forgotten.
And by the way, even if you don't donate by April the 26th, you can still donate after that.
That's
There's
right.
Still, it may not go directly to this year's fundraising, but it will go to next year's. Even if you miss the 26th deadline, donate anyway. Donate in June. Donate in July. Donate every month. Why not?
Yeah.
And if you don't have anything to donate, just spread the word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell your friends. Go on social. Tell people
Yeah.
about PanCAN.
Which is what we're doing now, telling our friends.
Yeah.
Don't it make my brown eyes blue? Wait, don't
Nice.
it?
Purple.
John Orchiola
Green.
of Screen Rant, do you have any questions for these fine people? You
Well,
look like you're ready for one.
Well, no. I mean, first.
Is it Best of Both Worlds Part 1?
That's
God.
an excellent guess.
Part
But
2.
No, part 1 for sure would be better than part 2, I think.
Let John
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
Far beyond the stars. Far beyond the stars.
Close.
No.
First contact.
Close.
My favorite.
John, we're sorry. We're unruly.
Oh no, not at all. No, I got this shirt because I walked the PurpleStride last year. I'm going to join again this year. It was such an amazing event. Fantastic morning in Santa Monica. And also an amazing cause. So I'm really looking forward to joining you guys again on the 26th. And I also I spoke to Jonathan last year. I spoke to John. I think I spoke to Armin too about PanCAN. And one of the things I learned was that PanCAN's network also helps with the families, not just the victims, but support for the families, which I think is so important. It's one of the things I was really so motivated about in terms of this organization and helping out. So it's weird because I also don't want to distract from the cause and the event, but can we talk a little bit about Star Trek?
Before you do, John, let me just piggyback on something you said, and then you can ask as many questions about Star Trek.
Of course.
Speaking as the caregiver in this particular incident, caregivers are under as much pressure as the patient. The patient, as he often says, only has to take one step at a time for their getting better. But the caregiver is there to field all the questions, to hold the hands, to give the medication. That's why what you just said, John, is enormously important. They're there not only for the patient, they're also there for the friends and family who support the patient.
Well said.
Absolutely.
And I want to
Absolutely.
say I want to say one last thing before you start talking about Star Trek, because I know you won't have any Star Trek questions for me, so this will be the last time I speak.
Oh my God!
Oh right, Phil Phlox.
You know what?
Tired.
I just say
That
this is a
tired
rise. I get a rise out of
photo-facing.
John Frakes every
Oh my
time.
God!
Fishing for compliments.
He does not like.
It's so pathetic.
No,
It's pathetic.
Although
You're a grown
Picardo
man.
was a pretty good doctor. He was a pretty good doctor, Robert Picardo. I
anyway,
mean, it was very convincing.
now I forgot.
Sorry.
Completely
Oh.
right out of my head.
Past tense.
No.
That's a good
No.
one too.
Nice.
But
That's
I'm
what
so
we are.
sorry.
We're all
It has to be
past
sitting
tense.
on the
We're
edge
all
of forever.
past tense.
You said it's the highest rated or the favorite?
Highest rated.
I
Highest
believe it
rated.
might be the highest rated, and it's certainly considered one of the greatest
This
episodes.
is a poll online. I mean, can I tell you my Bob Picardo story? Bob Picardo
Yes.
emailed me one time. He said, "Hey, I just
I
wanted to let
opened
you
the
know
I opened the can of peas.
I saw a poll online. I was voted the most popular Star Trek Doctor, and you're voted number 8, below Diana Muldaur. Love you, Bob." Now I know
What?
that push poll conducted amongst the members of his family. There he is, that son of a bitch. So we have to take these polls and surveys and what have you with a grain of salt. I'm just saying.
Good point.
I
Right,
want
I
to know
get-
who their favorite
I get-
bartender is. That's all I want to know. Okay.
Whoopi.
Okay, yeah, probably right.
Are you going to tell us the Bob Picardo news now, Ryan, or not?
No, we have-
Comes later.
I just fucking asked. Back up.
After we leave, Jonathan. After we
Oh
leave.
my God.
I don't want to hear another word about Bob Picardo. God
Bob
damn it.
Picardo's in the news, everybody.
brought him up.
Starfleet Academy.
And this is what our meetings are like. I'm just
Oh
saying.
Except
I
there's
can
biscuits.
imagine.
Well,
Uh,
Bob
Delightful
Picardo
biscuits.
news was taken from Trek Talks, so
Oh, what?
there's a
Hey,
tie.
that's something.
I take it all back. I love Bob Picardo. He was very gracious. He brought Kate Mulgrew on. They had a lovely 45-minute long conversation, unfiltered, unmoderated. Couldn't have been sweeter. Kate donated some books to the cause, and
Lovely.
yes, couldn't have been more gracious. I love
Beautiful.
Bob. I just like to give him shit. Well,
The truth comes out.
yeah, when he's not around. I would never say that to his face. I would never.
Back of the head, John Orchiola, what have you got for us? You got something, right?
Well, the funny thing is, I really was actually going to ask John about Bob Picardo, but he just completely he took over. I really was going to ask, but John, I love Trek Talks 4. I was glued to my YouTube the entire day. So congrats on raising, what was it, $80,000? What was the total?
You can never be entirely sure because donations do come in after the fact. But yes, I think somewhere around 85,000.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. No,
It was a challenging day for fundraising too, because there were all the protests all over the country. with
We
millions
chose
of
it
people.
because it was first contact day, and
Right.
we initially scheduled it for January, and the fires, of course. So we thought first contact day, little knowing that it was also Go Out and Save Democracy Day, and it was also your 401k has gone down the flusher day. So it was a
It's a real roller coaster.
Yeah, we were happy to have made close to what we had aimed for. So
Now, you guys, I do want to point out very quickly that we have royalty right now in the live chat.
What?
Yes, actual
Queen Latifah?
royalty. Close.
Queen Latifah.
Star Trek is here, you guys. Actual Star Trek. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh.
We're all
Wow.
here for you, Star Trek. I'm your biggest
Amazing.
fan. Thank you.
Thank you
All
for
the
my
way from
house. Star Trek.
1966.
Thank you for my house, Star Trek.
Yeah.
I love when
Me
Star
too.
Trek pops into the chat and kicks
Mine
down the
too.
door like the Kool-Aid man.
Doesn't Star Trek owe you guys some residuals now? Like
Something.
They get smaller, John. They get smaller as the years go by.
I got one for 75 cents a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you got
and
a
I
big
couldn't even deposit it online because I guess it has to be at least $1.
Wow.
So it
amazing.
rejected it, and now I just have a piece of paper.
You can take it to residuals and get a drink with that.
No,
Not
they
Not
closed.
anymore.
Not anymore, John.
There's too many of them. They couldn't
Yeah,
afford
they
it.
don't do it anymore.
If you fold it and put it under your drink, it soaks up the condensation from the glass like really
See,
well.
that's nice.
It's good for that. Yeah, it keeps your tables, you know.
I got one for negative a penny,
Me
which I
too.
thought was, do I have to send Paramount a penny?
Yeah, hand delivered.
I feel
The
like
Dominion requires
That's
payment.
from the Redstone made his billions. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like
Can't you
Maurice,
just get it from the fountain?
you were going to
Superman
say
3,
something.
he just like took a little penny from
John, did you have a second
checks.
question besides the one that we skipped over?
About
I
the
have-
other doctor.
I don't think that's a question. That was just a
Besides
comment.
the one we answered so brilliantly.
So far, I don't think we've actually heard a question.
No, I'm with you, John. I didn't hear a question.
No, I haven't asked one.
No, we haven't. Yeah.
Go, John.
No.
Our goal
Well,
is to stop you from asking a question. In fact, and so
I
far,
actually wanted
it's fucking good.
Well, before Star Trek, I actually wanted to ask Armin and Kitty about Twelfth Night. I know you directed Twelfth
Oh.
Night a couple of months
Cool.
ago.
Spectacular.
What was that experience like?
I had to twist my wife's arm for her to do it, but she eventually actually came away thinking it was one of the best experiences she ever had. You'll have to ask Jonathan Frakes a little about it more than
And
'cause
John
he was-
Billingsley. They
and
both
John
saw it.
Billingsley. Forgive me, both Johns, because they saw it. I have a lot of baggage because I directed it, and Kitty has a lot of baggage because she was in it. And she, by the way, was brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant, and
Probably the best thing in the show.
Thank you.
No.
Particularly, no, I think maybe the best thing in the show, especially the second character with the mustache.
Yes. I came back I went back and forth between Mariah and Fabian, and everybody loved the mustache.
Fantastic.
And
Everybody loved
I
Fabian.
just want to say something that's sort of like not serious, but exactly, but what Armin might not say is that his vision for the show was, what if it's last love, not first love?
Yeah.
So he put a whole lovely spin on the show that you're never going to see in another version of
Oh,
12.
wow.
So it was about people who late in the day are finding their inner adolescent because they have fallen in love again. And it made it a very fresh and sparkling revival of a play that you've probably seen many times before. And it really put a wonderful
And
spin
I
on
thought the music added an incredible element to the show, the songs and the performer, whose name eludes me at this point. It was
There's a great deal of music in the play that Shakespeare put into the play. There's usually skipped over. And as Tom said, I wanted to focus on the music, and I had a great composer who was also one of the actors in the show. It was a terrific experience for me. Also, one of the things that goes by, people don't notice it, but I focused on it, which is that I believe it's probably one of the clearest Shakespearean production anyone has ever seen, because one of the things we focused on was making sure that the audience understand. I get agita every time people say, "Oh, I don't understand Shakespeare. It's too difficult for me, or the language is old, or whatever the canard is." But it's my opinion that you can make Shakespeare just as easily understandable as Next Generation.
It was so successful, in fact, that next year they are doing 13th Night, which
Sorry, what's a canard?
excellent use of the word.
It's a duck in French. It's the French word for duck.
Excellent use of the
That is
word
right.
canard.
Canard is a
It's
duck
a-
in French. Yes.
Oh, I thought it was
Our,
a Cardassian beverage.
Nice.
Oh,
I thought it was a cruise line.
The
Yeah.
stage manager on closing gave us
cruise
all a
line.
list of famous quotes that happened during rehearsal, and one of them was, "So Rob, when you're kissing my wife, ...
All right, so everybody in the live chat, we are seeing some people that are saying they have donated, and others that are
Yes, they
saying
have.
Awesome.
they're
Thank you,
donating
thank you,
tomorrow,
thank you.
Thank you.
and some that are saying I donated today and also going to donate
Yay!
tomorrow.
Nice.
Some are saying that just to spite Billingsley because they said I will not forget. That's what they said.
maybe that was a strategy of mine. If you
As-
really
as-
want
Oh, seriously, is
Billingsley?
it 9 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern? Do we know?
What?
Probably
The 9
9
a.m. start tomorrow.
9 a.m. Pacific, I think.
Okay, great.
But hold, I will look it up. I'll make sure right now.
I was just curious, because I
If you want
forgot.
to show Billingsley a thing or two, donate the next day too. That'll teach that son of a bitch.
Teach him a lesson he'll
Yeah,
never
man.
forget.
If I may, as a student of the rules of acquisition, if you
Hmm.
contribute today and tomorrow, I believe that's the 7th rule.
Keep your ears open.
Wow.
Let's
That
keep
works.
your ears open.
I'll go for that.
Scott, you are on fire today.
Hey, speaking of the 7th rule, do you guys want to see?
Thanks so much for watching that clip. We go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with all the latest Star Trek news on the virtual TrekCon channel.